Experiencing imprisonment. Psychologists evaluate, manage, and treat prisoners to make it less likely that they will commit another crime when they get out. Some newspaper stories suggest that prison is too easy and more like a vacation camp than a prison. In this chapter, you'll learn about the research done on how being in prison affects people and how they deal with it. Characteristics of the prison environment. For prison to be a punishment, it must be a bad time. But just how bad should it be? Some theorists have said it could be counterproductive if locked up is too painful. Deterrence is another goal of prison. If the idea of jail is to keep prisoners from breaking the law, then jail must be unpleasant. The physical environment. Prison is stressful by nature, and researchers have looked into what causes stress in prisons. Locked up means you have less freedom and control over your life. Some prisons have open bars on the front of the cells, so the prisoners have no privacy. Sharing a cell with another prisoner and how the prison is built can make it hard to be alone. The social environment. Prisoners often have to deal with the stresses inside and outside of prison. Some involve the outside world, while others are the prison itself. There are two kinds of loneliness, emotional and social. Some prisoners might feel one kind of loneliness but not the other. Some prisons have a subculture of violence, and some prisoners are okay with physical violence. Prisoners in the UK are more likely than US prisoners to use bullying as a form of punishment. Bullying can be physical or verbal, and aimed at the victim or the victim's property. In the US, on average, male inmates are victimized once a month and female inmates once every 2 weeks. Bullying has been linked to failed rehabilitation and recidivism, self-harm by prisoners, and poor mental health. Criminal psychologists need to know why it happens if they want to help stop it. People have said that bullying could be a way to relieve stress and boredom. The victimization of prisoners has been linked to several bad things for prisoners. For some prisoners, being locked up can have a big negative effect on their mental health. Some even hurt themselves or kill themselves while they are there. It's important to remember that each prisoner is different, and their ability to deal with stress varies. Psychological health, self-harm, and suicide in prison. Psychologists have found worrying levels of psychological distress in prisoners. One study found that a third of female prisoners might have short-term mental disorders. Another study of 16 to 21-year-old young offenders found that more than 15% had severe anxiety. People shouldn't jump to any firm conclusions about the fact that prisoners' mental health seems worse than that of the general public. A study of male prisoners found that 16% had considered hurting themselves, and 15% had thought about trying to kill themselves. It was a much higher rate than what samples of young people in the general population had said. Some things linked to suicide in prison are the same as those for poor mental health.